All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is September 10th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Let's go take a look at the markets today, how I made 12K with a 37K account. Let's take a peek at where we left off. Okay, so this was the 27K open house account right here. So we started this on day one. We produced 1,400 in profits. Day two, 9,000 in profits, bringing our total up to 37K. Today we got 12K of profits. That should bring us close to 52K. All right, in profits. All right. Actually, the account value 52K. It'll bring the profits up probably close to 22K right there. All right. All right, so this is our trading right there. There's the performance for the week so far. Today's Wednesday. I was kind of hoping for a double. Didn't quite make it. All right, made 12K on a 37K account. What is that anyways? 27K? Let's see what that is. Calculator. All right, calculator. Come on, get up there. Okay, let's see what the calculator says. Okay, so let's take 12 divided by 37. That is a 32% rip in my account today. All right, not too bad. I'll take that. Remember, my goal is only 1% each day. All right. First, I want to thank everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land, and my paying subscribers. I try to provide actionable, profitable content every single day. Let's take a peek in the markets. Again, special shout out to John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted. Thank you for sharing the content. Thank you all of you out there in digital land for liking my content, following my content, sharing my content. Appreciate all of that. Love that. All right, let's take a look at what happened with SPY today. Let's move this over. We'll go over here and visit this after. All right, so let's move this down. Let's move this down. All right, so into the close, what do we got? We got a 2 candle or maybe a 3 candle 10-minute uptrend into the close. And the 2-hour chart, what do we got there? Let's see what we got. 2-hour chart is still in an uptrend on this chart. Let's take the pre-market, post-market off. And let's look at the 2-hour on that one. And what do we got for that? Okay, on the 2-hour, still got a 2-hour uptrend. Okay, so my favorite trade, 10-minute uptrend inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, that's also inside of the monthly uptrend. So I got all those bigger time frames supporting my little 10-minute uptrend. That's what I like, all right? That's what I want to see. Not going to see that 6-9 months from now, okay? So we'll see what's going to happen here, okay? So we gapped up this morning and we melted off. That's basically what happened. Back to the 10-minute chart. Okay, we gapped up. We hit the about the 655 number, almost 655, 654.62 up there, and then from there we came down. We made a lower high, then we made an equal low, then we made an equal high, and then we came down here and made a lower low. All right, markets are still bullish. We did not fill gap. This is all consolidation over prior consolidation. I got to tell you, traders, we're still bullish. All right. As much as every day has come down, and not performed great for us as far as trading, markets are still bullish up here. So take all of this out of here, and let's put the quad lines on there. Look at the daily candle. All right. So put the quad lines on. And where's the quad lines? Here we go. There we go. All right, so I got to move this over. All right, so Again, new all-time high on SPY. All right, drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, new all-time high for SPY, closing at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Okay, still in an uptrend. All right, even though we melted off today, we gapped up and melted off. Okay, so we're still bullish on SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, what do we got here? Let's take this, get it out of the way. All right, QQQ. High here is 583.77. All-time high 583.32. New all-time high for QQQ today. All right. Again, doesn't get any better than this. Okay. Closing up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Still in an uptrend. QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGU. New all-time high today on FNGU. All right. See that? Got the sword candle way up there. Okay. New all-time high for FNGU. That's bullish. Still in an uptrend. So we got SPY in a bullish and in an uptrend. QQQ bullish and in an uptrend. FNGU bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at IWM. Okay, IWM got I gotta say that's an outside day. I'm gonna call it an outside day. Outside day, that's a higher high, lower low, closing in the bullish trap over the 17. Okay, that's up there in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow puts in lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17. Bullish up at the top of quadrant 4. See that? Bullish, still in an uptrend. All right, let's take a look at gold. See what gold's doing today. Wow, look at the tail on that. All right, lower high, lower low, closing over bullish trap over the 17 EMA at top of quadrant 4. That's bullish, still in an uptrend on gold. Silver, inside day, lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap over the rising 17. Top of quadrant 4. That's bullish, still in an uptrend. It's up there at those 13-year highs. Let's take a look at UNG. Okay, UNG in a downtrend, but not moving down. All right, so it's a pullback in a downtrend. All right, in the middle of quadrant 1, that's bearish and still in the downtrend. Today's candle gave us a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap, but over the flat 17 EMA. Again, bearish, still in a downtrend, even though it's moving up. This is what they call a pullback in the downtrend. Okay, so that's a bear flag. All right, let's take a look at USO. Okay, USO got a habit of, guess what? Yeah, you know it. Moving up, giving it up. See how it moves up and then comes back to the pink line. All right, then it moves up and then it comes back to the pink line. And then it goes up again and it comes back to the pink line. It's neutral, okay? It cannot hold the higher ground. It's not ready yet, all right? USO. Price action today. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross over the 17 EMA. Still in a downtrend. They made a lower low. We have not made a higher high yet. So USO still in a downtrend, but moving up as opposed to down, and still neutral right there. Let's take a look at our technicals. Start off with T2101. This is the market breadth. Losing more and more participation day by day as the breadth keeps dropping lower and lower and lower. Let me just say right down here, when it gets into this area, that's almost a reversal marking area, okay? If we go into the past, let's just look at the past. Okay, so you can see as it dips into there, there was a reversal going back up there. Okay, dips into here, there was a reversal going back up to the high. We're not there yet, okay? But I'm just saying that's what happened last time or the previous times that when price dropped in there. Okay, let's look at COVID 2020. See if we can pull that up. Let's try the 2-day COVID 2020 right here. See right here, there was a reversal right there. Okay, so when it drops into here below this green line, and we're inching closer and closer every day, okay, there is a reversal. So we'll see what happens. All right, that's the 2-day chart. Again, I keep it on the 15-minute, and you can see consolidation is under consolidation, indicating that this is getting weaker and weaker day by day as far as T2101. T2122. All right, we got price action as more chop in the buyer's chop zone. Okay, so we made an appearance both in the buy zone when we opened up this morning, and in the afternoon we made a couple of appearances in the seller's chop zone. The bulls threw us out of there, and we wound up chomping around inside the buyer's chop zone for most of the day. Again, we have not a good sign. Consolidation right here, underneath all of this consolidation right here. So kind of making, see the highs, lower high, got some lower highs here. We'll see what happens tomorrow, okay? But right now, looking like the market's inching closer and closer to a rollover or a pullback. We could get a sharp pullback. And it's been a while since we've been down there. I'll go visit it right after I do FNGU. Here's T2123, okay? Price action for today. Today was the 10th. New all-time high, all right, for T2123. I kind of indicated we were probably going to print some new all-time highs way back, a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, all right? New all-time high was coming due to inflation, all right, because inflation makes all those goods and services increase in price, which happens to bring more revenue into the company, and the company's got their act together. They produce more profits, which equals higher earnings per share, and there you go, you get a new higher price on the market. Okay, T2123, new all-time high again today. T2120, and still in an uptrend. Let me just go back. Still in an uptrend. Yes, still in an uptrend right there. Okay, haven't made like a lower low and below any of these pivots here. All right, so 3-bar chart, still in an uptrend. Nothing's falling apart. Again, new all-time high. Same thing. It's the same product. All right, up over the rising 200 SMA. That's bullish. 15-minute chart, still up over rising 200 SMA. That's bullish. Look at price go up and hold the higher ground. Okay, that is a bullish outlook. Again, probably going to be bullish again tomorrow. Got the 2-hour uptrend, the 10-minute uptrend. Got the T2123 bullish and consolidating over yesterday's consolidation. The only two that are stinking up the place, T2122 got some consolidation under consolidation, and then we got T2101 got some consolidation under consolidation. All right, so that's what we got. All right, T21. So take a look at FNGU, still up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. You look at price action today, not pretty, okay, but still consolidating over yesterday and the day before's consolidation. See that straight line, a move up. Not quite holding all of the highs, but still holding above the prior consolidation. No gap fill, bullish gap up. No gap fill, that means bulls are still on the field and they're still ready to play ball. All right, on that. That's FNGU. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY on the 10-minute chart. I want to point this out because this actually did happen today. Notice no gap fill, okay, here on SPY. Telling me bulls are still on the field and still ready to play ball right here on SPY. QQQ, on the other hand, filled gap. All right, so QQQ did a full gap fill right there, okay? Still consolidating over prior consolidation. That's a bullish outlook. All right, let's go back to SPY. Let's pick up the clean chart, okay? And let's go down to the 2-day, all right? We're going to pick up the 2-day, okay? So let's just say price action, okay? Let's just say here's the valley between the two peaks. Let's just say Wall Street bought the dip. Let's just say I'll be conservative and I'll just take it down to this, not the lowest of lows, but the intermediate low right there, okay? Right there in the middle. Okay, I'll take that low right there. Okay, now Wall Street typically likes, all right, 2 reward for 1 risk. So if Wall Street bought the dip, that would be 1 risk unit. Okay, let's duplicate this and stack it on top, okay? Because they bought the dip, so this would be 1 reward unit right up on top here, okay? Let's see where that comes out. Okay, 1 risk, 1 reward. Right about there. Okay, so what do we got? Let's put the crosshairs on it. All right. About 650, 693, maybe 655, you know, give or take a penny or so. Again, 1 risk, that's being conservative too. Not taking the full all the way from the top to the bottom. All right, I'm taking just that meaty part in the center, okay? All right, so that brings us up. There's your 1 reward. All right, let's say they get another reward coming, okay? Just saying, okay? That brings us up to, well, right up here, up to 740. Okay, I've been calling this out for a long time, noticing that Wall Street bought the dip. And I'm tickled we got 1 reward unit right here, okay? So this is fantastic. But please notice, all right, we don't have any exhaustion candles yet, right? Market's still in an uptrend on the 2-day and the 3-day and the weekly and the monthly, okay? So I'm just saying, like, there could be more. Our T21 and T22 signaling a pullback. Yes, they are signaling a pullback, okay? Are we starting to pull back? I couldn't tell you, since we gapped up and we didn't even fill gap today, all right? So, I mean, that's normal for price to come back, but they didn't even fill gap, so we're still not bearish yet, okay? The day turned out bearish, making lower highs and lower lows throughout the day, but all in all, they still didn't even fill gap. As many bears that were on the field, I gotta say, they really didn't score first down. The first down would have been doing the whole gap fill thing. They couldn't even get it done. All right, so I'm still bullish, and the bulls are still on the field as well. Okay, so that's where we are with the price action. So we still have a possibility, okay? We'll see what happens of 739, 740. Okay, just saying, 1 risk, 2 reward. They're just like you and I. Okay, they want two reward for each risk. They bought the dip, all right? And ever since they bought the dip, I've been bullish on SPY, QQQ, and the whole market here as price to go higher. Now, if the dollar, let's think about this for another instance. If the dollar gets weaker, which it's already in a bear flag, okay, what do you think happens to price? All right, or stock prices or commodity prices, okay? They go higher again, okay? So we still have not seen the a bottom in the dollar. We see a bear flag, but they have not signaled a double bottom yet. All right, so we'll see what happens. They're still consolidating underneath that minor resistance. Okay, so there we are with the price action. Just wanted to share with you my outlook. I'm happy we got this. I was almost certain we were going to get this. I'm not certain we're going to get this one. Okay, this would be the icing on the cake. This is the cake. Okay, I'll be happy just with the cake. I don't need the icing. All right, but if they want to give it to me, I'm not going to pass up the icing if they want to ice the cake. All right, that's all I'm saying. So there's SPY. All right, let's take a look at, okay, we did the oil and gas. We did the silver and gold. All right, we did the SPY and the QQQ. All right, we went over what today did. Okay, let's take a look at how I made money today. Okay, so I made some money today. It's a good day. Just saying. All right, kind of do it every day. All right, been doing it so long, it's like a habit. I can't even avoid it. All right, so let's see if I can find an option. Let's try this one. Oh, there we go. We got an option. All right, so let's go to the 10-minute chart. Actually, let's pick up the 5. Okay, so holding this overnight, that was the QQQ 581, 0 DTE calls. Yeah, I took the profit right at the market open right there. Captured $1,700, okay? Held that one overnight. Tomorrow is CPI, by the way, okay? 651, 0 DTE, SPY calls. These were QQQ calls. Here's the SPY calls. Again, took the win right out of the gate right here. Rallied up, sold into strength. Captured darn near 1,400. Okay, right there. 653 calls, 0 DTE. All right, captured 1,600 again. Sold right into strength. Reloaded on the weakness down here, and just exited probably with a small loss right there. Small loss, nice gain. Made 1,600 on those. 655 calls, 0 DTE. Okay. Captured 5,800 on those. Okay, so I'm going to scoot down to the 3 minutes so you can see exactly how I trade. Okay, because let me just fan this out because this is kind of cool, and I want you to see it. Okay, because the way I trade is a little bit different than other people trade. So I'm going to pan over. Okay, I'm going to pan over to the busy part. See, this is the busy part right here. Okay, see all these wicks? I was looking for, and I said it right here, we had a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close yesterday. And I said I'm looking for continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so I see price waffle back and forth on VWAP. Okay, but I do see a bearish engulfing. Then I see a lot of tails show up right here. Okay, so I bought the tails down here, okay, and sold into strength up here, okay. Then I bought the dip to trade the bounce and sell into that little 3-candle rip, strength there. Bought the dip, sold into strength up here. Okay, and you can see I constantly buy the lows of the candles and sell the tops, making 5,800 on these calls right here. Okay, you can see they got down to, at the beginning of the day, put the crosshairs, they were at like 23, 24 cents. And I'm selling those contracts up here for 59 cents. So I'm buying them for 50, 23, and 24 cents. Oh, look at that, 20 cents, okay? And I'm selling them up here for 50 cents. That's like a 200%. Well, that's a 100% gain, all right? Because if you buy them for 20, you sell them for 40, all right? You doubled your money. That's a 100% gain. Remember, you got half of that is what cost you to get in and place your bet. And then all I did was just buy and sell the tops of the candles, okay, throughout the day. I'm going to pan over, okay. throughout the day. Throughout the day. Same thing. Buying the lows of the candles, selling the highs. Throughout the day. Same thing. Okay? Throughout the day. Okay? And then that's it. Right there. Ended my day. Right there. Captured 5,800. Okay, lost 370 on these calls. Again, I was trying to... actually, I'm still holding some. Okay? But I was trying to... I saw the possible bounce back to 656. These are 1 DTE SPY calls. I saw a path back to 156 by tomorrow. Made a little money right out of the gate, but then again, I bought the dip, all right, and it just kept falling. You can see price falls of the underlying security, all right, which happens to drag the option price down. Okay, you can see the option price was all the way up here. Put the crosshairs on it, up here at 68 cents. And you can see how far it dips with the decay and the price pullback all the way down to 25, 26 cents right there. So I lost 370 on those, all right? I'm still holding some of those. I still see a path back up there. The markets are still bullish. See there? Right there. 652s. Okay, markets are still bullish. All right, so I still see a path back up higher. Remember, we just only did reward unit 1. I'm still looking for reward unit number 2, all right, which takes us up to 740. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so there's SPY. 2K on these SPY 2 DTE 650 calls. All right, obviously I was holding some, all right, overnight. Okay, market gapped up. I'm going to sell into strength, buy the dip, sell into strength right there. Okay, don't seem to have any more. See, the position is 0. Okay, got some QQQ 585 calls. All right, made $144 on those. Again, sell into strength, buy the dip, sell into strength, pan over, and selling into strength right here. Okay, so I got way deep underwater here, so I'm kind of selling back into this rally back up to my cost basis right there. $98 on these QQQ puts right here. Price looked like it was just going to continue dropping all the way down to the base, which would be the bottom right here. Okay, it just kept falling. All right, so look where price wound up bouncing. Okay, I'm going to put a line. This is another target that I want traders to recognize. All right, I notice a lot of people split because they want to leave, but I'm just saying for those of you that stuck around, all right, see this line right here where VWAP stops. Okay, notice if I put a line where it stops right there, see where price bounces right there. Okay, actually it goes a little lower if you see. Just move it up just. Now it's right on it. I'm looking here. I'm not even looking over here. Okay, so you can see where price hits the line and does a little bounce. Okay, that's like from VWAP line to VWAP line. Okay, so this is a target sometimes. All right, keep an eye on this. If you're ever, I'm not around. In other words, you've graduated and you doing well all on your own, and you need some targets for some downside or upside. Wherever you see where the VWAP line left off the previous day, look at that area because that will often be a target. So you can see we had a pullback to the target. They went well past the gap fill here on QQQ just to nab the target and came back and consolidated up here over the gap, yesterday's close right there. Yes, that's regular intraday VWAP, but from the previous day. Okay, that's the previous day's regular VWAP. That's where it kind of ends, and you can see, where price just, the VWAP line just kind of like rips up there. Okay, from after the Asian session is closed and the Europeans are, well, actually right up there where it jumps up at 4 o'clock. Okay, that's the 4 o'clock jump early in the morning. Okay, so you can see it left off here and it jumps up there. Okay, so before the jump, that's often sometimes a target. Tex was asking a good question there, so I wanted to share that with him. All right, Tex is pretty advanced, so you know he likes this. He likes his stuff. All right, so like today, Tex VWAP line left off here. All right, so this may be a target sometime tomorrow, maybe in the morning, maybe in the pre-market, maybe in the post-market, but this may be a target. Is this right here where VWAP left off? Okay, you'll have to look back at right where it left off. And in the futures, you'll see it the same thing. They will often target this area in the futures as well, this line, so to speak. And you can see a little bit of support, resistance. Yeah, support. See how price bounces there and bounces there, and then comes back up and gets rejected, comes back up, gets rejected. Okay, so this will be a target a lot of times. So I want you guys to know that you guys see me pick targets with pretty good accuracy, and because I know a lot of targets. And that's all. I just want to share this with you so you guys can learn and take away from it as well. All right, so there's QQQ. All right, so that's it for me for today right there. Hope you all had a good day. I want to say that a lot of people made some good profits, and guess what they did? They went home. They made their 10 goals. I saw some guy that I think he made 10 goals today, and another guy made 4 goals today. All right, and then they went home. All right, so they missed my evening lecture, but wow, good for them. Tex asked another question. Yes, I know, Charlie Kirk. I'm sad to hear that happened. That's really sad. Anytime anybody gets hurt, anytime. That's just, another educator, all right, got hurt. Yeah. Well, we need to build a bigger asylum, I think. All right. Just saying, like, we could probably use a bigger asylum sometimes. More understanding and probably a bigger asylum, all right? We need to concentrate on both sides. All right, that's it for me today, unless you guys got some more questions. All right, if you don't, I'm going to call it a day. I want to thank everybody. Brian Haney. Hey, Hanley, I'm sorry. Hey, thank you. New face. Did you just join? Fahard? Yeah, thanks everybody. Did you just join, Brian? You must have. It's the first time I've seen it 2 days ago. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. And you Brian, I do free 15-minute coaching, okay? So if you're losing real money, stop trading, okay? Just go to a simulator account and learn how to do it on a simulator. It's not worth. We work way too hard for our money, all right? And that goes for everybody out there. We work way too hard for our money. Thanks, Rod. Okay? And it's not worth, putting it at risk if you're not educated, okay? It's easier to put it at risk when you're educated, and I would rather see you get educated first, then put it to risk. So work with a simulator, all right, so you can learn the strategies and learn the setups, all right, and make money on the simulator. When you can get that simulator account to grow in size, then go back to real money when you're ready. And then for me, I would start with small increments, all right? I would not throw my whole account up, and available to trade. I would just use small increments, all right? Because the last thing I want you to do is lose your account, okay? Because this is your future. This is going to be the future This will be the last job you ever do. All right, right here. Okay. Hopefully, this is going to be your last job. You're going to be trading in the punching the time clock for a different job. It will still be work. Okay, there'll still be work to be done, but it'll be a much friendlier environment because you'll be the eyes and ears. You're going to be the boss. You're not going to have anybody watching over you. Lost 6 accounts. Yes, absolutely. No more of that. We do not want to see that happen again. You worked way too hard for that. All right? This way, way too hard. Don't want to see that happen again. I hate to hear that. All right? At least you had the good sense to stop and get some help. All right? That was the smartest move you could ever make, was stop and get some help. All right? God bless you. Yeah. All right, you keep asking questions, Brian, because I don't know what you don't know. And this goes for everybody in the room. All right? I don't know what you don't know. Okay? And I don't even know what you know. Okay? And if you don't share any bad trades with me, I think you're doing perfect. Okay? So there it is. You see me, I share everything every single day. You know, I share my positions, my trades, the whole thing every single day. You can see it all. Okay, but I don't know how you're doing. All right, so I hope you're doing well. That's all I do. If you want to share, you can share. If you don't want to share, I understand. All right, so there you go. Yeah, God bless. All right, everybody, have a great evening. I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? That's when all the magic starts. That's when the explanation of what happened and what we're looking at in the morning happens tomorrow at 8 o'clock. See everybody. Have a good night. Thank you.